and his actions. I'm using Sabana Mahood and her actions. I'm using the Muslim community and their actions. I'm using the grooming gangs and their actions. I'm using the Manchester airport attackers and their actions. I'm using the Manchester Arena and their actions. I'm using the Villa Football Club against the Jews and their actions. I'm using the Plasticine marches and their actions.
Tony,
I'm not using Henry Novak.
Tony,
I'm not using him at all. I don't need to use him to prove my point.
Yeah. Tony, have you got kids yourself?
Yes.
So imagine you said, I don't want my kid's name to be used for what's been happening. Do you think your views should be respected as a parent who's just lost a kid, or what do you propose in that aspect?
Again, you seem to have forgotten my last statement, even though I made it quite clear. I am not using Henry Novak. Not once have I used Henry Novak.
Okay, so you're not personally.
I've spoken against the people who attacked him and what they said, and they used racism to try to get away with it. I've spoken about the police and what they did.
Yeah, and that's wrong, yeah.
I've spoken about Manchester Arena, Manchester Airport, Aston Villa Football Club, grooming gangs, Jews at Palestine marches, and Jews at Golders Green, and Jews at a synagogue. I've spoken about all of that.
So
I've not once spoken about Henry. I've not once spoken about Henry Novak, except to say the only racist, non-racist in that particular attack was Henry Novak. That's the only time I've mentioned that man's name. Yeah. When I said the only one who was not a racist at that scene was him.
Yeah.
Everyone else was a racist, but not him. Now, again, you know, I'm not disrespecting the parents and their wishes because, you know, racism isn't only affecting Henry Novak and their poor, unalived little boy who shouldn't have been unalived. So I do respect their wishes. But unfortunately, it's not only affecting them. It's affecting me! It's affecting me! Because I'm British, I'm white, and I'm a Christian! So those filthy racists are racist against me! And I don't give a fuck what you say, or their parents, or anyone else's parents! You come and be racist against me! Come!
Tony,
and don't tell me to shut up! Don't tell me to not talk about it! Because I'll shout and fucking screaming and fucking louder!
Tony,
can you see how upset I am?
Tony, can you put your glasses up?
And I am not the only one who is upset at this problem. And guess who's caused this problem? Islam and Muslims. They've caused this problem. Because they constantly use racism to shut people like me up, talking about their false cult, their false God, and their false prophet, and their false book, which says they can go and grape little children. 65:4 of the Quran.
Right, Tony, 1 second. Let's stick to this topic because I'm trying to get an understanding. You know the ones that said, oh yeah, to the police, I've had someone be racist to me. Obviously the bad people that is unalived Henry. Are they Muslims? Do you know if they're Muslims?
No, they weren't Muslims.
Oh, okay. We're just.
But where did they get that idea from? Where did they get the idea from to lie to the police that they had been racially attacked so they could try to get away with the murder they had committed?
So
where did they get the idea from?
What religion were they? Do we know? Because you're saying...
No, again, forget the religion for a second, okay? We've already dealt with the religion. They weren't any religion. They claimed to be Sikh, but they weren't Sikh. I know lots of Sikhs. They were disowned by the Sikh community. It has nothing to do with religion.
Okay.
They used racism. Be quiet. They used racism to try to commit a murder and try to get away with that murder. Now, as a criminal, as a lifelong criminal who was very good at his job, I can tell you for a fact, you learn how to be a criminal from other, you don't learn it
Watching other
yourself.
people, yeah.
It's not, you don't go to the shop and buy a book on how to rob a bank. You don't go to the shop and buy a book on how to steal a car. You don't go to the shop and buy a book on how to murder someone and get away with it.
You watch other people's
You learn
behaviour.
all these things from other, be quiet little girl. You learn all these things from other places and other people. Now, answer my question. Where did Digwa learn the way to try to get away with murdering a white boy when he was an Asian by using racism? Where did he learn that?
Obviously from Muslims, isn't it, Tony?
Well done. Well done for
Obviously.
getting the correct answer.
Yeah.
Yes, obviously from Muslims, because he saw the Manchester Arena.
Right.
He was born in this country. He was 22 years of age.
See,
Let me
I'm
just
learning
find out
something.
what the Manchester Arena, I think, was 2017. So the Manchester Arena attack was 2017, 18, 19, 20, 9 years ago. He's 22. What age would he have been 9 years ago?
22. Is it 31? Is he 31 now?
13.
Oh,
He'd have been
wow.
13 years of age when the Manchester Arena took place, where a Islamist, jihadist, of a different colour other than white, was walking around the arena hours and hours before it started with a big backpack, looking so out of place that all the security noticed him, because it was mainly filled with young little children and their parents, and he was walking around all on his own. And the reason why they didn't bother him, the reason why they didn't pull him out and search his backpack to see there was a great big massive thing inside it, was because of the colour of his skin. And they were scared of being called, and they were scared of being called a racist. Digwa was 13 years of age when that happened. After that, we had many other things happening, including the Manchester airport attackers, who walked free because of the colour of their skin, and they're Muslims. The Aston Villa Football Club, who banned Jews from coming to the match because Muslims said they were racist and they didn't want them there. So they were banned. The grooming gangs, they were going on before he was 13. The grooming gangs were going on before he was born. The grooming gangs were going on the whole of his 22 years and getting away with it because they were brown and Muslim and their victims were white. And again, no one wanted to bother them because they didn't want to be called a racist. So the grooming gangs were still going on. They're still going on today. And then you've got the Palestine marches where they march up and down the street for the past 2 years, calling for all Jews to be unalived, using racism again, and the Golders Green, and the ambulances, and the synagogue attacks. And all of this, Digwa saw, Digwa heard. I wonder where he got the idea from to turn a young white boy into a kebab and then claim racism.
Not a shish kebab. That's not good, is it? That's not nice.
No. Nice. Anyway, at least you've, agreed with the point, we have racism